This is the plaintiff, Gary Thornhill. He says he and the defendant are both veterans and shared a bond, so they decided to live together. Unfortunately, things didn't work out because the defendant didn't pay his share of the rent. They haven't spoken in over a year. He had to dip into his savings to cover the rent, and he has no other choice but to sue the defendant for the $1,500 he owes. This is the defendant, David. He says the plaintiff out of the clear blue sky tells him he has military orders and has to break the lease and leave the apartment. To this day, the plaintiff hasn't been able to produce those orders, and you can't just go around faking something like that to get out of a lease. He doesn't feel like he owes the plaintiff a thing because the guy left him high and dry, and that is so not right. He's accused of shipping out. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,100, the cost of finding a new apartment.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Be seated and come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Gary Thornhill?
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing David. You've asked to be referred to only by your first name for $1,500 for rent and other miscellaneous bills that you say he owes you and has not paid you. Tell me what happened.
Yes, ma'am. Well, basically, we had a deal he wanted to move into the apartment there. And, I helped him out, didn't even charge him the security deposit. And he didn't even have to pay the rent when he first moved in. I kind of, because he's a vet, I look at all vets, brothers and sisters.
Are you a vet?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I was in the Air Force.
All right.
And so
how about you?
I'm a U.S. Marine.
Okay.
So, of course, I'm going to help somebody out that's, another brother or sister of the family. And, just went on and went on. He couldn't pay the rent. He gave me a check that bounced, and it just kept going and going. And then I finally got a document signed that he agreed that he would pay me in full 28 December or before 25 December 2010. And then that never happened.
So he signs a note agreeing to pay you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, may I see that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, what I'm trying to understand is when he moves in, it's what month?
Thank you, sir.
This is November 1st, 2010.
And he moves in paying you how much?
0.
Why?
Because he's a vet.
What? Well, apparently a vet can end up like leaving you hanging too, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because he's still a human behind the whole vet thing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And human beings make mistakes and are frail and sometimes want to keep money in their pocket, not yours, right? And that's exactly what happened to you. That was sort of foolish. Okay, so he moves in, he gives you how much?
Nothing.
Then the next day he gives you how much? When does he start paying you?
It wasn't until about the middle of the month he gave me the check that bounced, then the $400 check. Then shortly after that, he scrambled and got the $75 check. This is the only check that didn't bounce.
So on November 17th, after he moved in November 1st, all he'd paid you was $75?
That's correct.
And then what?
And then I kept talking. I was like, "What's going on?" He's got excuses, but he's got a full-time job, and they were supposed to give him travel money. And he said he doesn't get it. He's got all these stories. And, I just know you're a vet, you're in the military. They teach you how to plan and they teach you to be responsible. So I just didn't understand how anyone could be that irresponsible.
Okay, stop. Stop.
Okay.
Who let him move in without a penny down?
It's on me.
Was that responsible?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So then you're sort of both irresponsible, right?
Yes, ma'am. I agree.
All right. I'm getting worried. All right. So by what does he end up paying you before everything hits the fan?
Well, he did a balance transfer in December, I believe, or it was either the balance transfer or cash. He gave me $500. So
total, how much did he pay you?
$575.
Okay, but in your lawsuit, you say he paid you $1,190.
Well, then he paid me another $200 cash.
Okay. Did he pay you total $1,190?
Yes, ma'am. You can say.
And you guys lived together in November and in December because for January 1st, you moved out. And
yes,
why
ma'am.
did you guys have to move out?
Well, because he couldn't pay the rent. He couldn't afford it. He started complaining that it's too much, this and that. The room's too small. He started just making all these excuses. And I said, okay, that works out. We'll just move out. It was working. I was going to school. It wasn't working out at the college that I'd chosen. So I said, okay, we'll just move out and we'll just, settle the dues and you can just pay me what you owe me and we'll go from there.
Okay. And then, as a matter of fact, you end up renting a U-Haul, right?
Yes,
and you move both of you
yes,
together.
Ma'am.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Well, I rented the U-Haul.
Because you're still obviously getting along and civil to each other.
Well, I'm a faithful Christian. And I don't have, it's just things happen. You just move on in life, and then by God's graces, I'm here today.
Okay.
So I rented the U-Haul truck, and again, nice. I help him move all his stuff into storage, and I didn't even charge him nothing for that, nothing for the gas, and he dragged his feet, and he had poor planning, so he didn't get back to push. But we were supposed to be out the first, and because he dragged his feet so long, we weren't able to get out in time, and I was dealing with the landlord, and then I had to scramble, and it caused me to come back to make a second trip back to New York just to help him move his stuff.
And you were moving to where?
I was moving back home.
I don't know where.
Oh, Selkirk, New York.
So he still owes you $1,010 in rent.
Yes, ma'am.
That he's not paid up on. He owes you the cable bill, and you feel that he should pay you the U-Haul, gas. What's the bus ticket?
Because he dragged his feet, I had to. My sister helped me move and pack the stuff too. So we had to go. She had to be to work the next day, so we had to go back. And because he dragged his feet for so long, that caused me to make a second trip to the U-Haul.
But you chose to do those things, right? Because you were trying to be nice to him, and
well, yeah, because we had loaded some of his stuff in the truck already.
All right, what's going on, David?
Pretty much going with what Gary said. So I was working down in Washington, D.C., and my company is moving me up north. So looking for a place, and it was a rush and a scramble. So I found whatever I could, and I move in. I did let Gary know.
Hey, you found the one place that would let you move in without putting a penny down.
Sure.
Because nobody else would ever let you in a door without putting a penny down.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
So you found another vet whose good graces you could take advantage of? That's sort of how it sounds, because who the heck else was going to let you in and then you don't pay?
Well, Your Honor, that's not how it sounds. You didn't let me finish.
Well, it's exactly the way it sounds.
Very well.
These guys are veterans, and the plaintiff let the defendant move in stupidly without paying a penny. Suffice it to say, it didn't work out. Let's listen.
I mean, the rent is how much? $1,100 a month.
That's correct.
Did you pay $1,100 a month?
I did pay $1,100 for the first month.
And then, but you lived there a second month and you didn't pay it.
Absolutely, and I had.
So how does it not sound exactly like I'm saying?
Well, because I did warn Gary. My company. I was waiting for the relocation allowance to come through. He did know that ahead of time, and of course he did agree. He said, "Okay, I'll work with that." Didn't anticipate that it would take as long as it did, but subsequently I had to put what I could towards finding another place, and currently.
But that's only because you didn't pay the rent in the first place. Of course you have to find another place. You can't go on with the gravy train forever. How long did you think that would go on?
Your Honor, you're absolutely right. I didn't know how long that would go on, but
But you've made enough money to pay him off since then, and yet I'm here.
Personal recession, Your Honor. Hard times. No, you know what? To be honest, my current rent is $1,100, and to try to pay whatever
Forgive me, but I am coming near you. Okay?
Yes.
La Corona, Italian Thai. Just a moment. Okay, the suit is made in Indonesia. It looks really nice. It looks Italian. Just a second. Belova.
It was a gift.
I gotta tell you, you don't look like a pauper. He sends you an email. It is now October 19th of 2011. I have not heard back from you or received any payments. You need to physically call me today and set up a balance transfer. This needs to be completed by the end of the month. I can't wait any longer. I looked out for you, David, being that you were a veteran and served your country as well as I did. I try to help all my fellow veterans anytime I can, but you can't abuse this. Apparently, he can try. I helped you move out, rented the truck, didn't even ask you for a dime for that. Because of all your screwing around and last-minute planning, I had to drive my sister all the way back to East Nassau and then pay to take a train, not a bus, all the way back to Brooklyn just to help you finish. Never once did I ask you for anything extra. All this now comes back around to, I won't use the word you used, me, because I tried to do a good thing and help out another brother in the family. On top of that, a combat vet. I may not have seen combat, but you better believe my presence was felt by ensuring the B-2 bomber was ready to go. David, your time is up. You need to settle this once and for all and pay me what's due. I shouldn't have to go through all this. I don't know that I could have said it better myself. It's not funny.
No, it's not.
Why would you do this to another vet?
Your Honor, I'm not doing anything to anyone.
Yeah, but you are.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Is it worse that these two dudes are veterans?
I don't think so. They're just people.
Well, okay, they are just people, but they both served the military, combat. Does it make it worse?
I really think that people doing bad things to other people is all the same.
It's all the same. Anybody think that it matters that they're vets?
I do. I think so, because I mean that's what you learn when you're in the military, to be, to have that code of honor and everything. So
To
yeah,
respect.
Fair enough. That's what I was looking for. Going inside the courtroom.
Not only was he really good to you, and he let you move in without a penny, he worked, waited for a month and paid your part of the rent. Then he rents a U-Haul, doesn't ask you for a penny, and helps you move. And then you string him along. Why would you do something like this? Why would you disrespect another soldier like this?
Your Honor, I'm not disrespecting him, and I'm not saying that he didn't go out of his way for me. And
You are disrespecting
I'm not
him.
disrespecting anyone.
Yes, you are.
Okay, very well.
How do you figure that this is anything but disrespecting him? Because you figure he's going to continue to be the pushover he's been up to now, and that he wouldn't actually go through with it and sue you in court. He figured that if he's been able to get away with everything he's gotten away with you, then you're not going to be man enough to go to court because you didn't stand up for yourself. I so would have expected more out of a soldier. I really would have. I mean, I'm really disappointed. I'm really disappointed. As far as the cost of the U-Haul, gas, and the bus ticket, all these are things that there was never an agreement to pay you back for. I can tell from that email that I just read out loud. But as far as rent and the cable bill, I'm going to order the defendant to pay you the $1,060. Interest and pain and suffering. You don't get pain and suffering on this kind of a case, even though I know it's all right, but I know that this was painful for you. I know that this was, it's been a hassle and it's been disappointing and everything else, because it's disappointing for me. So if it's disappointing for me, I can only imagine how it was for you. And you do get pre-judgment statutory interest at a rate calculated from your state of New York from the time this money is owed until today. That is my judgment. Counterclaim. You gotta be kidding me. You have a counterclaim against him for what? The cost of having to find a new apartment?
Yes.
Do wonders never cease? I'm listening.
Okay. Well, after we moved out in January, I had to go and find a new place, and that's where a lot of the money that could have been paid went to. So.
Well, apparently it did, because it didn't go to him. So what is it now? He needs to pay another month of your rent?
No, but $1,100 is the cost of the brokerage fee that I had to pay to find my current apartment.
That you had to get an apartment that you had to get because you weren't paying rent in the last one?
Well, Your Honor, that was due to come. I did tell you I was waiting for my company to.
What planet are you living in? Verdict for the plaintiff on your counterclaim.
Very well.
Oh my gosh.
The defendant's out of the courtroom first. Thank you for your service. What's your reaction to this verdict?
Well, it's not the outcome that I hoped for, but that's why we're here today in the courtroom for the judge to give her best ruling, and that's what she did. So
you looked like you took advantage of him.
Sure, I understand what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. How's that not the case?
I guess just differences in what we felt was due and what we felt was right.
If you had paid him a little bit of money during this last year and some odd, you would look a lot better.
Sure, I understand that, but that wasn't the circumstances. So
okay, all right.
Thank you.
Good luck. All right, so step on out here. Thank you for your service. What's your reaction to this verdict now?
Oh, well, I'm feeling good. I got a winter song queued up, so I'm feeling great. God's blessed me, and I just got one thing, to say before.
All right, winner.
Thank you, sir.
Harvey?
Okay, the moral here is never let somebody move in without getting money up front. It's security, and it protects you in the event they skip. And we'll do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.